I'm sure you've all heard the expression, fake it till you make it, but today I want to take a look at what happens when all you do is fake it without ever making it. You end up like this loser we're about to take a look at today. A guy who has become a complete parody of self-confidence, but without any level of self-awareness. He portrays himself as an extremely successful, extremely rich guy that would have no problem at all stealing your wife right out from under your nose. It's beautiful stuff that he talks about.
Take you, for example, and me, and we both pull up and we go to your girl. Odds are I'm gonna take that bitch. If you compared me to you, you're not gonna win that battle.
Bro's out here rocking that man dark body type and acting like he for some reason be able to take your girl just because he rolled up in a rented McLaren. This guy's entire personality is money. He's like a real life Mr. Krabs, but with even skinnier arms. So he believes because he has money that he's entitled to women and women find him irresistible. You can tell by looking at him this was no jock in high school. This wasn't exactly the prom king. Yet he pretends that he is now. He talks about how successful his businesses are now. He has a 9-figure business. He has all of this money. Though I don't necessarily take him at his word because I just don't believe a fucking word this guy says.
So the next time you think that your girl's on lock, I got the keys to the castle, motherfucker.
I have no doubt he spent hours trying to cook up that finishing line right there. The keys to the castle. Now, why I don't believe him about the success of his business is because the only thing he shows that's worth money is his car, the McLaren. He's made like 1,000 shorts about how much money he spends filling up a McLaren's tank, or how often he drives his McLaren, and that is the only thing worth a lot of money that he's ever shown, at least that I've seen. So that leads me to believe that it is 100% rented, or he really dumped all of his money into that one vehicle in order to portray himself as a successful businessman. He did a little house tour, and it's very humble living. It's a nice place, but it's not exactly like a super mega mansion you would expect someone with a 9-figure business to own. And he's not wearing a ton of ice or anything like that, and he's clearly a guy who loves to flex because he's always talking about his wealth and his success, yet the only thing you can ever see from that is that McLaren. Now this may be like a tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I truly just think he either rents it for these videos or, even more depressingly, drained all of his finances to make that big purchase with that belief that this car would be enough to convince people that he has a lot of money. Like, he specced all of his points into delusion here and is just letting it rip. Like, this McLaren means I'm successful. I gotta fake it till I make it. This is how I do it.
Here's why the gym does not matter. I'm tired of guys that are like, oh, I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to get fit. I feel like I have a pretty decent tone.
Did douchebag Slenderman get you with that jump scare in the beginning? So this is his rant about why going to the gym makes you a fucking idiot. Because he's skinny and insecure. So you going to the gym is offensive to him. It's pretty pathetic. You don't want to go to the gym, that's fine. Buddy's out here built like 2 french fries duct taped to an uncooked spaghetti noodle. And if you're happy with your body there, that's absolutely fine. But why shit on people that are going to the gym? He makes a whole rant about why it's stupid to do it, which is laughable.
I don't need to go to the gym, because you pull up to the gym making less than 10K a month, pulling up in your bullshit fucking Corolla, and I pull up in my McLaren. It's not even a contest, dude. No one gives a fuck about your muscles. Most of the guys that go to the gym, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're fucking stupid. All that pre-workout that you're taking is making you more stupider.
So unless you're making over 10K a month, you don't have the right to go to the gym? Like, he's not even making a point. Like, he's not even saying, like, the time you spend in the gym, you could be spent learning how to drop ship things from Alibaba. Like, he's not even, like, trying to make some kind of point. He's just like, you're stupid for going to the gym because you're making less than 10K a month. He actually sounds like he's about to cry. You're stupid with your dumb muscles, dumb muscle man. Like, what in the crazy insecurity are you going through right now to think that this was a good idea?
Here's why you gotta break up with your girlfriend if you're not making 6 figures a year. Brutal honest truth is that girls need a man who can protect and provide for them. If you're not making at least 10K a month, how the fuck are you gonna protect and provide for your girl?
Man's out here boofing crazy pills. You don't need to be making 10K a month in order to protect your girlfriend. You have absolutely no meat on your bones whatsoever. The only foe you're equipped to handle is if the gingerbread men from Shrek tried to attack your girl, then maybe you could fend them off. But everyone above the age of 18 and weighing more than 100 pounds, it's going to be a tough tussle. And making more than 10K a month doesn't enable you to magically protect her better. If someone's making a ruckus and you're trying to stop whatever's going on, the amount of money you have isn't going to do anything for you. You can't just be like throwing money at it like, get away from her, you scallywag. She's with me and I make more than 10K a month. Here's money. Like throwing it all over the place to get them away. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just pure delusion. Now, I guess, like, he's not wrong. If you make more money, you can provide more, I suppose. But what the fuck does that have to do with anything? So if you don't make 100K at least a year, break up with your girl.
It's cool that she's sticking with you right now because you're trying to build yourself. But at the same time, if some guy like me comes up and gets in the way, she's gonna choose me over you because I can provide more. In this feast or famine world, women will always pick the best case scenario because they don't want to get hurt. And you being broke as fuck definitely hurts.
What hurts more than being broke is being broke but pretending you're not, like this guy. It's so... I don't know if he actually believes the shit he's selling or if it's only to try and get people to, like, sign up to courses or anything like that. I'm really not sure if he actually, like, loves the smell of his own farts or if it all is an act. I couldn't tell you. Either way, it's to further the goal of making money off the back of desperate people who see this and think that this guy is actually super successful and is trying to give them the secrets to success. It's all just another guru scam, but... I find him particularly entertaining because he's doing the bare minimum. He didn't even bother to invest in his own body to look the part, so he's not in good shape. He didn't bother to even really pretend to have a lot of money aside from that McLaren that he shows from time to time. And he's just saying things that other gurus say. And I don't know if he's actually found real success. I know he has quite a bit of botted engagement that I've seen online, at least as of everything I've been able to research from it. But other than that, I don't know if anyone even believes his act. I would be surprised if they did, because he's very bad at it. Also, just to explain why there's driving underneath his video, it's because it's a TikTok thing where everyone needs perpetual stimulation, constant jingling keys, so for any video where it's talking, they play like Subway Surfers or anything engaging a game underneath to keep viewers' attention. It's pathetic. TikTok has absolutely rotted brains where people need, like, absolute activity at every single moment. They can't just listen to talking on there.
So if you always wonder what dating an entrepreneur looks like, this is what the fuck it looks like. I don't cook, I don't clean, I got whiteboards all over the place. My setup's there, this is like my sanctuary. No one fucks with me here. As far as a fridge, it's pretty fucking awful. So I got beer, Happy Dads, Gatorade, oh dude, Bel Air bottle, champagne. I got these Dunkin' Donut iced coffees, and then for dinner I'll go to the pier and like have dinner. I will never fucking cook. This will never be used. I don't even know why I have a fucking mitt.
And here's the look at the house I mentioned. It's clearly a cozy spot. It's a nice house. It's not a super elaborate house. This is not a mega mansion or anything like that. So if he's a super successful 9-figure guy who loves to flex everything, why would he be living in a house like this? It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't really track. I also love the whole whiteboard thing. He probably watched one video on, like, it's important to write down your goals or whatever as an entrepreneur. So he bought like 9 whiteboards and hung them all up and filled them with gibberish nonsense. I tried zooming in on the frame where it focuses on a whiteboard, but I couldn't make it out because his handwriting looks like he wrote it while he was getting hit by an earthquake. So it's completely illegible for the most part. But I'm pretty sure one of them was agility. And he had a check mark next to it, meaning he must have done, like, agility drills, I suppose. I could be reading it incorrectly, but I'm almost positive it said just agility on one of them. Maybe it's like RuneScape goals, and he's, like, skilling right now, so he's working on agility, and he checked it off once he got, like, a certain amount of XP. I don't know. Very goofy regardless, though.
Here's just a couple of signs that your girlfriend might be cheating. Number one is she's not texting you as readily as you've used to.
Easiest way to tell if your girl is cheating is, did she ever find that you bought this guy's course? If she did, she's absolutely cheating. No doubt. And you deserve it. Why the fuck would you buy a course from a guy like this? It's so embarrassing. Like, he actually just went to, like, WikiHow and just started copying articles on, like, how to tell if your girl is cheating. 7 life hacks for that. And then he just starts regurgitating them here. But anyway, I could go on and on. There's so many embarrassing shorts he's made, but there's no reason to just keep going over it. I just wanted to showcase some of his better ones here and talk about it a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. If you're in a relationship right now, I hope this doesn't ruin it for you, but you may never look at your partner the same because they're just not going to match up to this Adonis I'm about to show you. The self-described 0.5% boyfriend on the planet. He's pretty much everything you could ever want in a partner, and we get to see that firsthand as he brags to his ex about all of the matches he's getting on Hinge. So the background is, These two were dating. He is apparently a doctor. She's a nurse. They broke up. I can't imagine why with the way he talks in these text messages. He seems like a very secure, stable individual. So, I don't know what the conversation was that was preceding this, but he says, if you are even thinking it, I'm down for an open relationship. You and I can do whatever we want. I'll probably sleep with someone before January anyway. The benevolent saint read her mind, knew that she was thinking like, I kind of want to still fuck this guy. So he let her know right up front that he's definitely still down for that, but he's going to have to pencil her in around this upcoming coitus session that's going to happen before January, no doubt. Like I said, I don't know what the conversation was that preceded it, but it was probably some shit like, hey, can you come collect your stuff? And he's like, listen. I know what you're thinking. And the answer is yes. I will still fuck you in this open relationship that you desperately want us to be in. I'm okay with that. I'll make that sacrifice. She rejects that generous offer, saying she's looking for a boyfriend. He says, okay, offer stands. Immaculate business acumen, letting her know that the offer is still on the table when she comes to her senses. Always down to clap cheeks and get head. Speaking like Duke Nukem out here. I came to be a weirdo loser to my ex and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum. And then he just for some reason throws this in there. This is out of control. 14 convos, day 1 of Hinge. Oh, you can just taste the tears. He is trying so hard to make it seem like he's moving on and is actually very happy that the relationship has ended. Look at how many conversations he's having on Hinge. He needs to brag about it to his ex. I also imagine a chunk of those conversations are with bots. This is like the guy who brags about all the sexy singles from his area that he's talking to after clicking on a porn banner. But either way, he's just trying to go out of his way to be an asshole to his ex to make her feel bad. Just unprompted sending Hinge conversations he's been having with other women. When he doesn't get any response, he starts spiraling and melting down, monologuing like a cartoon villain. I mean, obviously most of these girls would be an upgrade, so why would I get back with a broke girl who isn't even close to finishing school? You pushed me into something better. You literally asked me to get a gun. I don't have any ammunition and it's locked in a case when it gets here. Just another example of stupid communication. Such a stupid and confusing girl. I'm getting updated headshots once I'm all tanned up from Vegas from 2 professional photographers. And I update my wardrobe so everyone will get to see the new hairline. Oh. Jeepers creepers. Man's got the Rogaine foam out and he's getting very excited to showcase it in his new Crocs and Hawaiian t-shirt. Probably use your birthday money for it. That was supposed to be a little dagger to jab her with. I'm using your birthday money for this, by the way. Brother, the relationship's over. I doubt she really cares what you use it for. Go ballistic, man. If you want to keep spamming minoxidil on your Tommy Pickles head, go crazy. Also, like clockwork with every single meltdown, it's always, well, I was actually like settling for you. You're like super beneath me. You're broke, and everyone I'm meeting on Hinge is clearly an upgrade. You actually, this was like the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I cannot stop smiling about it because now look at all of these upgrades that I'm getting on Hinge from you. Like I was doing you a favor by being with you. He then also had the courtesy to show her what the photos are going to look like when they're done. Photos going to look something like this. I want to take some photos together as well at a festival and some action shots doing hobbies. It's going to be fun and likely boost my profile even more. I'm already overwhelmed though. Right now I've got a serious case of stick-it-to-the-man-neosis from just getting too much pussy, but I'd like to elevate my profile a bit more so I can reach challenger rank on Hinge. He then just sends some random photos of dudes he saw on Google Images, typing in things like man on bike and stuff like that, and he just sends those randomly. There's no doubt in my mind he didn't actually plan any photography sessions. He just wanted some shit here to like brag about, kind of like, look at how much better I'm doing. Check out these like new photos I'm going to be doing. Like I'm going to be riding a bike. These action shots of me doing my hobbies of undressing anime figurines, they're going to go crazy on Hinge and people are going to love them. Honestly, my ultimate goal is to find someone with an impressive career who comes from a good family. That's something I really missed with you and stressed me out. I want my children to aspire to be great and your family reeks with complacency. Who asked? This man's just fucking vomiting all the spaghetti in his brain here. He's just fucking dumping nonsense. Who is asking you what your goals are? Nobody cares. Hypergamy is real. Women with great careers don't want partners who are less educated or make less money. I'm in the top 0.5%, so it puts me in an elite group when I finish. I really want to see what I can find once I beef things up on the profile. 70% of people nowadays meet each other online. He's got the stats, and the stats say that he should be happy, so he is happy. He's super happy because he's the 0.5% in an elite group of boyfriend material. So you know he's happy. You can tell he is just beaming with enthusiasm, with joy. It's the holly jolly season, and he is feeling the spirit. He just keeps going on and on. I'll just date for fun until someone comes along worth marrying, kind of like what I did with you. Literally pages of glizzy gobblers. I'm the MIDI king. Oh man, he's slaying. Yeah, he's putting in the work right now. You can just see it. Calling them glizzy gobblers and MIDI. He keeps referring to all of his matches as MIDI. He's actively just putting down all of the women that find him attractive. Like, he doesn't even find them good looking. I think he just swiped right on every single person with a pulse on Hinge over a 24-hour period and managed to get 14 matches. And now he's just calling himself the MIDI king. At least these middies won't give me such a headache like you did, won't lie to me about everything and manipulate me into getting a gun and then tell me they think I'm going to shoot them. You are the insane one, walking red flag. Yeah, he comes across as a pretty sane guy, so if he's calling someone insane, you know that holds water. There's no red flags I've picked up on here yet from this guy. I would never marry a woman like you. Fakest person I know. The whole sweet girl thing is such a facade. Your family knows the angry, manipulative, stubborn bitch you are on the inside. Like I said, I don't want you back. I want to date these girls and have fun until I meet someone worth marrying. But always down to fuck you and get head. I'm just not going to be exclusive anymore. I don't marry middies. Now you can hang out as much as you want with your simp guy friends who get no pussy. It's a symbiotic relationship. A depressed and insecure girl who needs validation and 4 out of 10 or lower guys with no ambition or drive or any redeeming qualities that would make them dateable getting some attention from a middie. And she just says, stop texting me. This dude talks like those loveless virgins on Twitter that are always whining and crying on there about women. It's so... I don't even know where I would start with unpacking this one. It's just pathetic. Like, this is this is a doctor, apparently? What in tarnation? Dr. Dork, maybe? But jeepers. Wow. Anyway, this is what a 0.5% mate looks like. This is like the elite group of boyfriends, and unfortunately she didn't realize how lucky she got. She hit the lottery jackpot, and now, well, he's seen the light. So now he gets to go on Hinge and be the king of middies, as he says. He loves the middies, but he'd never marry one. He's clearly over his previous relationship, which is why he's sending paragraphs to his ex bragging about this and just spitting out his goals and all kinds of insults towards her and her family and everything. He's absolutely happier now. It's very evident. But I would like to move on to another short adventure that I went on through some text messages today. This is a very brief one. A Redditor had a friend that made a purchase that ended up being a bit of a scam, and it's a purchase that I can actually relate to in a pretty big way. It's a sex doll. So he was saying that the pictures that he purchased from looked nothing like the product he received, saying he's disappointed. His friend is just laughing at his trauma though, which I think is just very rude. This guy is clearly going through it. He just got scammed. He was looking for love. He didn't get what he ordered. There's so many things that most people should be able to pump their fist behind and say, yes, this man was wronged. I am on his side. He bought a sex doll and didn't receive the one that he had ordered. So he said, I should have let the process facility cancel the order and never reordered it back. His friend continues to laugh at him. I'm throwing it away tomorrow or something. He's still getting laughed at. He then says, bro, even the fucking Ona hole is too small. I don't know what the Ona hole is. That might be like a trademarked part of the sex doll. I don't know his particular model, but that might be like patent pending technology. He's trying to set his friend straight here, letting him know, like, hey, this isn't really the hilarious situation you think it is. It's a big scam. I ordered sitting position, it came in standing position, stupid seller, scammer. He then sends a picture of the sex doll that he received. It's not the highest quality item, I'll be the first to admit here. This looks like you're having sex with a Sega Dreamcast character. It's basically just a big noodle with a Google image face on it. The company that produced this should be ashamed of themselves. They didn't even have the decency of putting titties on it. This looks like one of Floop's Fluglies from Spy Kids. So unfortunately there's a huge scammer on the loose, so buyer beware if you're in the market for any sex dolls. But the reason I said I can relate to this is because I actually had a sex doll that looked remarkably similar to that. Many of you may remember a few years ago when I was in my competition with Belle Delphine, where I had like the craziest collection of sex toys and dildos, fleshlights, all of that. The whole 9 yards there, the kit and caboodle of all the sex toys. One of the items I had that I mentioned and showed in a couple videos was a sex doll that looked very close to that. Not the exact same model. It was this one. Now, at the very least, that model at least had titties on it and a usable mouth hole if your cock was 2 inches long. The gentle sir on Reddit, it didn't even have that. It was actually just like a piece of printer paper with a woman's face glued on to an inflatable thing, an inflatable tube thing, really. Like, I didn't even see any holes I censored it myself. I didn't even see any holes on his model. The one I had at least did have all of that, but you would be a damn fool to try and fuck it. Because that sex doll I had, it was like made out of broken glass. It was like the sharpest material ever. If you did put your cock in it, it wasn't coming out in one piece. It'd be sliced and diced. It'd be like sticking your cock in a wood chipper. It was completely unusable for that purpose, which is why I had it as kind of like a background object where I put like a shirt on her. Now, God rest her soul, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. She melted at the warehouse, as did most of my collection of sex toys, because the Florida heat was not kind to them in an unventilated building. They didn't appreciate that very much, so pretty much everything melted. But yeah, I can relate to his purchase here because what he received, since he was actually buying it to have sex with it, he would not have been successful with it. I can tell you for sure because I had something similar, and there is no human being on the planet, no matter how masochistic, that would actually fuck it and be pleased. They would be in excruciating pain and miserable. The agony would be overriding any sense of pleasure they could have possibly felt. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about that on the back of talking about the awesome boyfriend. Anyway, that's about it. So yeah. About 6 months ago, I made a video making fun of something called the Modern Day Night Project, which is an $18,000 program where you pay for a 3-day course where you just roleplay as a G.I. Joe alpha male. There's very few things that separate this program from the LARPers that run around pretending they're wizards shooting imaginary spells. The main difference is that group that's casting imaginary magic missiles and swinging swords in a forest, they're having fun, and that's free. Whereas this expensive pile of dog shit is not fun, it's not free, and they're also trying to convince you that it's not make-believe. At least the LARPers know they're playing pretend. Here, they're trying to brainwash these gullible, insecure men into believing that they're actually getting taught valuable lessons on how to be a successful man, leader, and business guru. Even claiming that you can start earning 7, 8, or even 9 figures of income after taking this course. Like, one of their main selling points is, yeah, $18,000 is a lot, but in the long run, it's costing you a lot more being a weak bitch. So give us 18 grand. And what you do is you go out there, you spend 3 days in like a fucking parking lot where they just yell at you, spit in your face, and spray you with a hose. So it's not even like you spend 3 days getting any kind of valuable tools or learning anything. It's not like you're learning how to, get in shape, get muscular, or do anything of value. It's just going out there and being uncomfortable for 3 days. And for some reason, they're convinced that that's a good thing. You can also spend 3 days just getting punched in the face by me, and that would make you uncomfortable too. But it's not going to make you any stronger. It's not going to make you any better at anything. You're still going to be a fucking loser at the end of those 3 days, even though you spent 3 days in misery. It's worthless. It's completely worthless, and they need to break out of this goddamn mind control that these men have fallen under for this. And they really like to harp on that mastermind program where you get to have like a fucking Skype call with them once every quarter or whatever, as if somehow that's going to make you successful. A nice little cherry on top of the shit cake they're selling you that you're eating with a smile on your face. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about MDK Project again is because some clips of it are going viral, and I like to take every opportunity I can to insult this because I truly think that if you are someone that's running this scam or someone that has gone to this and are trying to defend it, you deserve to be made fun of every waking hour that you spend on this planet for this kind of clownery. This is ridiculously embarrassing cringe shit.
Stupid. Are you that stupid? Here's fine. Here's what. Are you touching me? Are you touching me? Are you touching me? Get the fuck off of me! Get the fuck off of me!
I'm not
you little
touching
bitch!
I'm not touching
Fucking
you.
bitch! All of you get in the fucking tubs. Get in the tubs, every one of you. So, hey, what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now?
Sir,
every
sir.
one of you get in the tubs. Get in the tubs. Get in the tubs. Shut up with all. There is no respect. Get in the tub. You are going home. Oh, no, you're not. Sit down. You're not going in the fucking water. They're all going in the water. They're all going in the water. You're fucking done. You're fucking done.
I wasn't kidding about that parking lot statement. They set up these adorable, cute little ice baths in their warehouse parking lot. They got the Rob Dyrdek Fantasy Factory built here for the MDK project, but only if that fantasy is just yelling at a bunch of dudes that are really desperate for a change in their life and you're just exploiting that. So only if your fantasy is being just an evil, manipulative con artist. They actually posted this clip themselves, and there's really a lot to unpack here. So the big thing really feels like they love to power trip and just have this authority over these dudes here. And the second any one of them doesn't fall in line and conform to the hive mind groupthink, they're cast out. That is such a perfect encapsulation of this entire program. They just want you to fall in line and be their little sheep. Yet they're trying to preach the opposite. You're a sheep, and the only way to break out is by giving us 18 grand. We'll give you the tools to break out. But then the second you stop following my orders, you're fucking out of here and we're keeping your 18 grand. It's painfully obvious that it's just a different hive mind they want you to buy into. They want you suckling from their gynecomastia-riddled bosom here from all of the anabolic steroids they're injecting, taking their milk from their teat, no one else's, and you're paying for that privilege. Now, I don't know the whole context around what led up to this clip, but it seems like none of the clients in this session wanted to do this portion. So the instructor throws in the backpack, and the guy goes to, like, get his things, and then the instructor starts fighting him in this really stupid tug-of-war, and he's like, I'm not touching you! Stop touching me! I'm not touching you! Stop touching me! Stop touching me! I'm not touching you! So they have this, like, back and forth. And then one of the other guys is like, with all due respect, he's probably trying to make an argument for why it's fucking dumb for them to go into the ice bath. Maybe they should do something more productive with that time. And then he just keeps throwing up a big stink. Stop it! You're touching me! You're touching me! You're fucking touching me! Blowing a gasket. And he's like, you're out of here! You're out of here, bub! You're not going in the water! They're going in the water! They're gonna be alpha males when they get in that water. It's like a fucking baptism! So get out! You're not welcome! One other common theme that seems present throughout all of the MDK project clips is that the instructors themselves seem like the most sensitive and insecure out of everyone that attends their classes. And it's pretty evident because on their own YouTube channel, they even have videos of them just whining about the hate they get. They have this little fucking therapy session where the two goobers sit across from each other just trying to like suck each other off about like, no, we're not wrong. Everyone else is wrong. It's actually super embarrassing that you'd even make fun of us. Yeah, nothing says alpha male quite like someone breaking down and finally addressing the haters. Unbothered titans of testosterone here.
Look around, look at each other. Look to your left and to your right. More than 60% of you will not be here fucking Friday. I guarantee it. And I'll make sure of it. I'll make sure that you earn the right to be here every fucking second. Because I see in your fucking eyes that most of you don't fucking belong here. And I'll be dead, and I'll take this fucking knife off my fucking waist and carve this fucking tattoo off my fucking hand before I let any of you fucking bitches show up here on Friday for the graduation. I see in your fucking eyes already. Your fucking souls are mine.
Your souls are mine? Calm down there, HGH Shang Tsung. My God, it just when you thought it couldn't get more cringe. So this is like this is how he motivationally speaks to the class. This is like his idea of what a strong leader is. Someone that's just whining and screaming and shouting and is just unhinged, a loose cannon. When he pulled that knife out, I thought he was going to go up and start, like, threatening them. I'll carve your fucking scalps off with this knife if you don't start getting in the ice baths and letting me spray you with a hose more often. That's a big thing they like to do, is spray them with a hose. I showed a ton of those clips last time. I won't bother again. That's, like, the main thing. That's basically, if you want to sign up for the MDK project, there is one client I think could benefit. Anyone that happens to be hunted down by hoses. Like, if you're constantly harassed by getting sprayed in the face by a hose, this might be the class to take, because you're going to be immune to it by the end of it, because that's like all you do here for 3 fucking days. But anyway, he's got his knife out, he's waving it around, he's slamming it like a toddler having a temper tantrum over nothing here, then says he's going to carve off the thing on his skin, which I'm assuming is the MDK logo. They have their own little cute logo. I'll carve this off of my skin. It's like, oh no. Okay. Why would you do that? I guess. That's a weird threat to be making. It seems like you just kind of want to hurt yourself. Alright, that's a little alarming. I don't really want any part of that type deal. But this is also something he does for most of his classes. There's a few clips of him saying that exact same thing. He really likes to threaten that he's going to carve out his own skin.
60% you will not be here on Friday. I will make sure of it. You will earn the fucking right to be here on fucking Friday night. I will cut this fucking thing off my head before I let anyone you little make it to that dinner table that don't fucking deserve the right to be here. I'll fucking make sure of it. Weed out the bitches.
This one made me kind of sad because look at the two gentlemen in the front row. They're no spring chickens. They have to be late 50s, early 60s, if not older. Why on God's green earth would you be paying $18,000, taking it out of your grandchildren's college fund, to spend it to be here getting sprayed with a hose and yelled at by a man who keeps threatening to cut his hand?
Get to the pit! Get to the fucking pit! Move! You stupid!
This isn't even a popular clip from them or anything, but it's one that I saw that I think is a great example of this guy's mentality. He's actually like a child with a sugar rush. He's just slamming a chair against a dumpster. Move! Get to the pit! Get to the pit! Like, you could just tell them, what does slamming the chair against the dumpster do? You're just making noise for the sake of making noise. It's like a child with like two garbage can lids banging them together. What the fuck? This is your instructor. He can't control, like, his excitement from all the sugar in his body, I guess. It's so silly. But yeah, I won't keep going on. I've already made a video talking about the MDK project, but since a couple of those clips were popping off again on Twitter, I just had to take this opportunity to laugh at them. That's really about it. So yeah. This has been an incredible year for games. We've had some masterpieces drop this year, and also we've seen some of the most historic flops that I have no doubt will be talked about for decades to come. I'm talking about failures the likes of which I didn't even know were possible in the modern gaming industry. Concord is the obvious one that pops into everyone's noodle because that is probably statistically the biggest catastrophe in the entire entertainment sector. Somehow the goober goblins at the top of the food chain at Sony convinced themselves, like delusionally brainwashed themselves into thinking that somehow Concord was a worthwhile investment, so they dumped hundreds of millions of clams into it, and it was doomed from the start. It was dead on arrival. It never even had a chance to breathe. It was smothered before it even left the womb. It'd be like pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into asbestos and fidget spinners and then wondering why it didn't work, why it didn't make money. Concord cost so much money, and it didn't even last as long as a mosquito. It had a shorter lifespan than a mosquito. If I farted right now, that smell would probably linger longer than Concord existed as a playable game before they took it off life support. But it wasn't even life support because it never had life. This is not a video about Concord. The point I was making is, we have seen some incredible games like Nine Souls, like Black Myth Wukong, like Space Marine 2, like Astrobot, and then we've seen some things that are absolutely going to go down in the fucking books, etched into the tablets of time as an embarrassment, a shame, a blight on the gaming industry like Concord, and like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That's what I actually want to talk about today. So many of you probably don't remember Suicide Squad. That came out earlier this year to a collective yawn and sigh from pretty much every gamer ever. Warner Bros. Reportedly lost $200 million on this flop, but unlike Sony with Concord, Warner Bros. Is still going with Suicide Squad. Season 3 just dropped to a whopping 300 players on release day. They were scratching at their neck, foaming at the mouth, waiting for Season 3 to drop so they could play as their favorite hero, Lawless. I don't know who this character is. It doesn't seem like it's a character many people were expecting, much like how Season 2 brought Mrs. Freeze, where most people were expecting it to be like a bigger character in the universe. And Season 3 has even less players than Season 2. And now, 2 days after it dropped, it's back down to like 100. It is struggling. It never really got off the ground running in any way, shape, or form. But they're not giving up on it. They're still giving it CPR on this cold corpse here. 300 players, and they're still putting resources behind this. They said $200 million in the shitter, we can do more. We can shovel more money into the fucking furnace here. So they keep putting content into it. And it got me thinking, what's more shameful? Concord only existing for 2 weeks before they realized what a joke it was and they just pulled the plug? Or Suicide Squad still getting updates so many months later that nobody wants, it doesn't improve the game, and it's still laughable? Which one is worse? I don't have the answer because both have pros and cons. Concord, the star that burns brightest burns out quickest. You had 2 weeks of playtime, 2 weeks of fun with Concord, and then it's gone. And now it just exists as a myth and the punchline to many jokes. Suicide Squad, though, it's still trotting along like an injured animal, still just like crawling its way through the desert here. I think that actually might be more sad. I feel especially bad for the developers that have to keep putting content into this, knowing full well no one's playing it, no one wants it, and it's probably not content they want to make either. It's decisions from the suits that say, hey, we marketed it as a live service game, we got to keep putting shit in it, sorry, so you're going to put this shit in it. So they do. That's got to be a terrible feeling. And I know Concord and Suicide Squad aren't alone here. They're far from the only ones at the bottom of the septic tank of the AAA gaming space. It has been a rough year for a lot of AAA games. They take like a decade now to make a single game, and it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make them. So they're already kind of set up for failure unless they somehow just hit a home run, like a fucking grand salami, and make like $1 billion, but that doesn't happen often. So even when a game is well received and popular for the most part, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a successful investment for the company. Take, for example, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That game has glowing reviews from pretty much everybody, and according to Square Enix, it really underperformed for them. So AAA gaming isn't in a healthy state, and it hasn't been for a while. I get asked a lot during streams if I think there's going to be a video game collapse. I firmly believe there won't be, but I do think the AAA space, like specifically AAA gaming, is going to have a drastic overhaul as they're having this rude awakening where they realize they can't just continue to push out the same fucking game every single time, like Ubisoft. Star Wars Outlaws, I fucking hated. There's a lot of people that love it because it's familiar. It's a very same Ubisoft experience. It's comfort food, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am just very tired of that formula. And it seems like most people are, because Star Wars Outlaws has reportedly only sold 1 million copies so far, making that a big underperformer for Ubisoft. Another really recent example is Bethesda learning a hard lesson with Starfield Shattered Space, their new DLC that just dropped like a day ago. That had so much hype out the wazoo, except it really didn't. So the DLC dropped. It didn't really blow up the player count or anything. There was a bit of a surge in players, but nothing crazy. And it turns out the DLC is just more of the exact same thing, and a lot of people are extremely disappointed with it. So much so, in fact, that it is now one of Bethesda's lowest rated products ever. Just like when the game came out, people are exhausted of the exact same formula Bethesda has been using for so long without any real deviation or innovation or improvement, really. It's just my main critique of it is just how boring it is. It's just empty planets that you explore with nothing really to do that makes it interesting. The characters aren't nearly as interesting as they were in previous Bethesda games. Everything about it just seems like a downgrade from previous Bethesda games, but now it's in space. The game is just half-baked and lame. It was so lame, in fact, that modders made a statement saying that they didn't have any drive to actually mod Starfield because they didn't like it. It was boring. And to this day, there is no real modding scene for Starfield. Not a very big one compared to every other Bethesda title ever. Fucking Skyrim is still getting thousands of mods every day, basically. It's Bethesda titles and mods used to go hand in hand. They were like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Till Starfield. No one wanted that peanut butter and jelly. That was a fucking peanut butter and ass sandwich, and no one was wanting that ass. It's just, these companies are putting more and more money and more time into developing worse and worse products. Somehow, even though the technology, with the Unreal Engine and everything, continues to evolve and get better, somehow the games don't. And I'm talking about AAA gaming. I think indie gaming is in the best state it has ever been. The lower budget titles are fucking crushing it this year. Absolutely crushing it. Like Nine Souls. I can't sing Nine Souls praises enough. But AAA companies, I think, are so fucking lost in the sauce. Like, it's so expensive and they're so afraid to do anything that might be like a risk to their bottom line, so they ended up playing it so safe and just give you like the same game for the 1000th time, but this time it took them 5 extra years, and people are just kind of tired of it. Like, who the fuck was asking for a new hero shooter like Concord, and especially a $40 one? No one in the world, no sane human being outside of Arkham Asylum would ask for something like that. Or who was asking for a live service Suicide Squad game? Like, it's all just absurd. Though, for Star Wars Outlaws, people have been asking for an open world Star Wars game for years, but what they got was a Ubisoft open world Star Wars game. And nobody wants that, really. It's just one of those things where I think AAA gaming is not in a healthy spot. Anyway, though, just wanted to rant about this a little bit. That's it. See ya.
So, you seem kind of like a bit wacky. Would you rather, do you have OCD or would you rather have like ADD? It seems like you may have possibly both of them.
This is a pickup artist class, but your small little dick probably doesn't know about that. These classes will turn you into a champion of the male species. This will teach you how to go outside and get pussy immediately, sodden panties within a 1-mile radius just because you left your house. These classes are guided by PUAs, pickup artists. They are the finest heroes of the male population. Now I want you to sit right there with that micro dick of yours and learn from the masters. Obviously, lesson 1, try and diagnose the girl that you're flirting with either OCD or ADHD. That's basic shit right there. That's page 1 of the pickup artist book. So I hope you're ready to get completely enlightened.
No, I don't have either one.
Well, which one would you choose?
I wouldn't.
I mean, you wouldn't choose one.
Well, why would
This
I have
is
to?
a scenario in which I'm asking you a question. Though. Why wouldn't you choose one?
I just don't want to.
Well, are you scared of having one? Or is that like it's?
Yeah, what's the matter, huh? Are you afraid to have OCD or ADHD? What kind of coward are you? You probably can't even handle my follow-up question. Would you rather have herpes, chlamydia, or both? Here's my number. Please call. No, I'm fucking kidding. I'm a virgin. Please, I don't have either one of those. Just call.
No, I just.
It's a
think
hypothetical situation. I mean, is
Right.
that really that hard for you to imagine which one you would rather have?
Okay, I love this woman because she is so mean. Yeah, I like that you said, you ask her this question, she's like, I won't choose. Says, well, is it really that hard for you? I mean, what a great, I mean, that's a strong disconnect, but it really is what a woman who is this antagonistic is going to need to continue to just stay in the interaction.
Now, to give a little explanation on what this all is, the video is from a lesson that was given to a class which was led by that man right there asking about OCD and ADHD, the guy that looks like he coddles an anime lolly figurine every night before bed, and occasionally they cut the footage so that way that guy and the leader of the pickup artists organization cult, that way they can chime in and break it all down for us laymen to understand, so that way we too can employ these expert tactics in getting laid. So that's what you're hearing right there, where he says, I love this woman because she's so mean. And she is very mean. Like, why wouldn't you just, pick OCD or ADHD? It's not like a weird question. Like, that's some pretty standard shit. So honestly, I think the fault's on her for making this interaction a bit weird.
I mean, to me, like ADD, like you seem to have ADD because your eyes are twitching all over the
Okay, I'll
place.
pick ADD.
Or OCD because it seems like you're obsessed with small little details. I mean, which one?
OCD, yeah.
Well, which one is it? The question was to
ADD.
pick one,
I'll
and now
pick
you're
ADD.
now you're fluctuating as though you don't really have a formulated opinion. So I don't really
I'll
understand
pick
that.
ADD.
But notice that she's laughing. He's pushed her, but she's laughing.
That's an interesting point from Ace Asshole Artist here, where she is laughing about this absolutely psychotically odd question, and it seems like he doesn't understand there's a difference between getting laughed at and getting laughed with. She is very clearly laughing at this fucking goober.
Now this is a woman, I don't think we have any shots of her standing up, but she has large enough breasts that she gets approached all the time. And she's probably used to being a total bitch to guys, or just turning and walking away if she doesn't like their approach. Now, this is a woman who will bitch shield you pretty hard in a bar, for instance. And if you're not willing to have conflict and get into some heat, you're going to get nowhere.
I was spoken like a true red-pilled Redditor right there. These kind of guys are genuinely frightening, 100%. Like, actually scary individuals with their mentality and how they view women. As if these kind of guys are God's gift to girls and titties, and that they're entitled to all these women, and women that aren't interested in them are just bitches that, just because their breasts are so large, their milk tanks are so full of milk that they only go after NFL quarterbacks and not the nice guys like these guys. These kind of men are 100% scary and just downright embarrassing to like the entire human population.
What is your name?
Jennifer.
You're not going to shake my hand? Are you scared? Like, do you think am I that heinous?
I think you're
looking?
a creep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You say that with such a smile, though. Is that
Because it's funny. I mean, it's funny when creeps come up and talk to
really?
you.
But it happens
Kind of
all the time.
funny.
But you're not running away. You're sitting there.
Well, I'm being paid to sit here.
You're being forced to.
Yeah.
That's what all women say to me, is they're being paid to sit next to me.
He's got her now. That's a checkmate. She is going home with him tonight. That vagina is super wet. You can already just tell. Once she called him a creep, that's when you knew the deal was sealed. Pickup artists are infallible. They know exactly what they're doing. It's incredible how efficient they are at getting laid. You can see it right here. This girl is being paid to sit there. She acknowledges that, and yet she can't help but be attracted to this man due to his suave, his debonair, his incredible wordplay. It's just he's hitting all the right notes. Oh my goodness, it's amazing to watch a master at work like this. And it's so obvious that the only reason she's able to fight back the urge to just sit on his face and ride his tongue like a bicycle is because she's getting paid to sit there, and it would be unprofessional to do that in front of the whole class. I absolutely love that this girl is getting paid by these fucking losers to sit there and get hit on in the worst ways possible, and she can't even pretend to not be grossed out by these stinky greaseball weirdos.
Right.
So is that you can do better than that in terms of aggression too. I mean, that's not.
I can.
I'm not really that.
I'm a kickboxer, but
So you're gonna kickbox me?
no. But I'm just saying.
I'm not
could.
really that. I don't really
Right.
worry about things like that.
No.
Let me get a picture.
Okay, jumping in again. So,
Oh, no. Let me jump in here instead. Here, let me cut you off real quick, pussy sensei. This was so well executed. Oh, you're a kickboxer, huh? Well, are you gonna beat my ass? Well, let me take a quick picture. Nothing weird about that. Make sure you bring your disposable camera. If you're gonna flirt with a girl and you go without a disposable camera, it's like going into battle without a katana. You're gonna lose. You don't stand a chance. You're not gonna get laid unless you bring a disposable camera and snap a quick little titty picture of her when she's, caught off guard.
most guys hearing from a woman you're a creep is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to just put their tail between their legs and run away.
This is the right way of handling that. If you get called a creep by a girl, chances are you are 100% a creep and should absolutely leave. Yeah.
Or they're going to be like, well, yeah, well, you're a total bitch. Yeah, fuck you. And basically run away. And he engaged it. He's like, well, great. What is it about, though? I love this. You can do better than that in terms of aggression.
Yeah, that's the neckbeard approach to handling that situation. Oh, I'm a creep, huh? Do you even watch Rick and Morty? What was your favorite episode of Rickman and Mortimer? I am a creep, huh? And I bet you don't even watch this show. Are you even an atheist? Yeah, this is a bad way of handling it. If you get called a creep, just get the fuck out of there.
So, what time is it?
I don't have a watch.
What's your favorite restaurant? What do you like to eat? Where are you from?
Are you guys learning anything?
Is that pure sarcasm? Are you going to answer one of the questions or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do I have to? No, I don't have to.
You don't have to? And now you're twitching your hair like you're thinking
Because you're a psycho.
Me?
Me, a psycho. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. If you could only see my Rin Tosaka body pillow, you definitely wouldn't be saying that. Or, like my taxidermy collection, you'd be singing a different tune. You wouldn't be thinking that. That's a great joke right there. Me, a psycho. Oh, wow.
In what way am I a psycho?
Probably a lot more than I know now.
Really?
But, yeah.
Like, what do you think? Do you think I'm like a sexual pervert, or how would you? In what way would I be a psycho?
I think you're more like a mind fucker.
Me?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how you would come to that formulation.
Honestly, I don't know how she arrived at that one either. You strike me as more of a wears diapers to bed, shits in them, and then cries about it type of psycho. Who then gets angry at women because there's no girls in his life to help change his diaper.
So she says, you're a psycho. Now, how would you respond if a woman said you're a psycho in a bar or something like that at a party? Well, the best way to respond that we've seen, which Ron described, is like, oh, in what ways? What kind of a psycho do you think I am? You know, he's amused by her point of view, and you can see from the look on her face, she's amused by it as well.
It's actually one of the worst ways I could think of to responding to being called a psycho, asking her what kind of psycho she thinks you are. To be honest, I really feel like the goal of pickup artists isn't to actually get laid or make a connection with a woman or anything like that. I think it's just about having a long enough interaction with a woman that it counts as like a personal best record, like, hey, I was able to keep this girl talking to me for 40 seconds before she vomited and ran away. New record, thank you pickup artist classes, I'm learning. Because how could anyone celebrate this, getting called a psycho and then looking at it like a good thing and then keep going with the conversation? Oh, I'm a psycho, but what kind of psycho do you think I am, huh? Like, it's fucking silly. It's scary. I don't know who the fuck would take one of these classes and listen to this and think that, you know what, these guys are right. They're making good points. Because they're not. This is just downright scary. Genuinely fucking frightening.
So, I mean, do you often like have sex with mindfuckers? Is that how you know that, or what would you say?
No, it just seems like
It's
you
like
are.
a vibe.
It's just a vibe.
Okay,
Just
All
an
right.
instinct.
fine. We'll stop there.
Whew, thank God he stopped there. It was getting real steamy there. There was a lot of sexual tension. You could tell that they were both really starting to feel each other towards the end there. She said she doesn't fuck mind fuckers, but I mean, it was pretty clear that she was interested in this fucking weirdo, obviously. Pickup artists are just downright embarrassing, but I love watching pickup artist shit, and I don't get it. I don't know who watches these things, what kind of desperate men will watch these things, and actually think that this is sane, rational, good advice. This is delusion, and you're gonna catch yourself on a list at some point. You're going to jail at some point if you follow advice like this man here and follow these kind of talking points. It's disturbing. Today I thought it'd be nice to give you all a free lesson in negotiating. Negotiations when it comes to doing business are a bit of a headache, a nuisance, and it's just this push and pull battle back and forth, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. But what if it did every single time? What if every time you entered into a negotiation, you knew you would be victorious? You want to get yourself a new Stanley Cup but don't feel like forking over 50 clams for it? Well, then it's time to employ this negotiating tactic and get yourself a 100% off discount. That shit will be free. In fact, this is so effective that they'll probably start paying you to take the items away from them. It's that powerful. I first learned this forbidden jutsu from an anonymous hero on the Facebook marketplace who really opened my eyes to it. So I want to do the same for you. And I'll just go ahead and say it now. You're welcome. So it all begins with an individual trying to sell their motorcycle on the Facebook marketplace, and then they received this message. And I don't think they were prepared for this. That motorcycle was as good as gone the second this was sent. So they reach out and they say, "Hello, I know this is a lot to ask, but would you consider letting me have the motorcycle for free?" Pause. That's how you do it right there. Immediately letting his intentions be known. There's no guesswork here. There's really no haggling either. It's like, "Excuse me, have you considered letting me have this for free? I know you're trying to sell it for money, but what about just letting me have it?" Now, I don't want to scare you away with science, but I do want to dive a bit deeper here on why this is so effective. There's a psychological explanation for this. People love to have their questions answered with another stupider question. It makes us feel great. It's like this nice euphoric high. It's like smoking the crack pipe, but much worse. So in this instance, I know the guy selling his motorcycle had never, even for a fucking iota of a second, considered just giving away his motorcycle for free to a total stranger. But now that the idea has been planted in his head by that stranger, it's given him a lot to think about. And that changes the whole dynamic of the negotiation. Now, all the power is on the guy who's asking for it for free. You see how it works? It's very clever. We're dealing with a true genius. And he wastes no time getting very personal here to get an emotional investment from the seller, trying to tug on his heartstrings. So he's going for like this extremely powerful 1-2 combination wallop here to try and get this bike for free. So he says, "It's for my elderly dad, and he lost his car due to financial issues, and he is dirt poor on a super low pension, and I don't work as I'm looking after him until I get another job, as I lost my trucking company to a fucking rotten," and then he drops a slur. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, then I don't know what will. You have no soul. His elderly father, he lost his car due to financial issues, and now he needs a motorcycle, as all elderly men need. Like, how is he supposed to get from point A to point B without a free motorcycle now? What do you expect him to do? Walk? It's ridiculous. He's elderly. And the individual here doesn't have a job to provide for him, so he's doing the best he can to get him some transportation, which just happens to be a fucking motorcycle. Maybe he's trying to get his dad killed. I have no idea. Maybe this is all an elaborate assassination plot. I am looking for someone with a heart that is willing to help a person in need. And then caps lock. My dad is 78 years old and is at his breaking point, and the next person who refuses to say yes and help will be held responsible if anything happens to my dad, as he is ready to let go of life. So now the stakes have never been higher. His father is 78 years old. At his breaking point, the only thing keeping him alive is the hope of a free motorcycle. Will you do it? Do you have a heart to save his life? Because if he doesn't get this motorcycle, goddammit, it's going to be the end of him. And even if he gets the motorcycle, it's going to be the end of him then too. But in a much bigger blaze of glory, I think. I imagine it's 78 years old, and in as rough a shape as this guy describes him, that motorcycle would be his vessel straight to fucking Valhalla. That would be messy. But it's what he wants. Alright? And are you going to do it or not? Are you going to follow the Lord's wishes and treat thy neighbor the way thy would like to be treated? With a free motorcycle? Because if you don't, you will be responsible for it, so keep that in mind, Buster. I think this is negotiating at its finest form. So he's pulling out all the stops here for the free motorcycle, trying to get the waterworks going with a sob story, but immediately drops a fucking slur in the middle of it, and then caps locks a threat, too. This is an unhinged maniac we're dealing with today. I usually blank out the Facebook profile pictures in these kind of messages, but this one is just so fitting because he has a clown as his profile pic, and it couldn't be more poetic, because this guy is truly a fucking loser clown. So he comes back saying, I keep asking till you answer me. The guy trying to sell the motorcycle says, no thank you, and then even gets this warning, beware of common scams using payment apps. So I'm guessing this got flagged internally or something. I don't exactly know how Facebook Marketplace works in that regard. But then he goes, so you're okay with putting money over a person's life? And he just goes, has this ever worked for you? His strategy is very clear. He's trying to like play off of people's good nature. Like, my father needs this motorcycle. He doesn't have a car right now, and he doesn't have money to pay for this motorcycle, and I don't have money to pay for the motorcycle because I'm taking care of my dad because I'm a good person. Like, come on, you're gonna really value money over someone's life? You're gonna try and sell this motorcycle for thousands of dollars as opposed to just give it to me and my dad for free, which would actually save his life? Oh my god, you're disgusting. You are despicable scum. And when it becomes clear that this guilt trip song and dance isn't working, he tries something very different. Actually, yes, in the past it worked because years ago there were good-hearted people that would give you the shirt off their back to help a person in need. A shirt is also significantly cheaper than a goddamn motorcycle, you absolute heathen. Now, all you is a bunch of cold-hearted, money-hungry bastards, and I am very disgusted by that. I have no doubt that he spit. Gross. Won't even give me a free motorcycle. Yucky. My lawyer actually told me that if anything happens to my dad because someone told him and no, and it pushed him over the edge, I can file a lawsuit. So far, I have 20 people's names and Facebook accounts who have refused to help me. I have passed those on to my lawyer in case anything happens. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't have money to pay for the motorcycle, begging for it for free, yet somehow has money for a lawyer for this. That's about as believable as me being over 6 feet tall. What a bunch of fucking hooey. My dad told me if anyone else tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. This guy actually speaks like a child on Xbox Live making threats. My dad actually works for Infinity Ward, so if any of you guys kill me in this game and I don't win, you're all getting banned. This goofball has that same kind of energy to these messages here, while he's begging for a free motorcycle, trying to get some kind of sob story guilt trip going. It's fucking brutal. So let's take a bit of a dive here on his last couple of statements. So he's saying that he has a lawyer that has told him he can file a lawsuit if something happens to his dad because someone refused him free shit, basically. That's such an entertaining idea to play around with. Like, you can't tell this guy no because he's old and he might die. So be careful. So he's trying to get the legal threats out there. If Pops kicks the bucket, if he buys the farm because you didn't give him a free motorcycle, I'm taking you to court, so you better give me the free motorcycle. The guy's like sweating like, oh my god, all right, I've got to give him the free motorcycle. I really wanted to get a couple $1,000s out of this because I paid so much for it, but this guy's dad's life is on the line and I'm threatened with a legal lawsuit. Like, what did he possibly think would happen? No one's going to buy this story. Nobody in the world, no rational person in their right mind would get these messages and think anything of them beyond, wow, this person that is talking to me right now actually needs some kind of mental health evaluation. Because this is unhinged. It's also super laughable how he tries to make his dad come in here at the end as like the big head honcho tough guy. My dad said if anyone tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. In what way? He's 78 fucking years old and apparently has no way of getting around and has some demented loser of a son that's trying to get free shit for him on Facebook Marketplace. What is he gonna do? What major hell is there gonna be to pay? There's nothing getting paid. You're just asking for shit for free in the most pathetic way possible. That's the worst threat ever. I have no doubt in my mind this has never worked for him. Shocker, I don't believe he's actually got 20 people's names and Facebook accounts in some kind of dossier that he's about to send to his lawyer to sue. Or if he does, the lawyer's just going to be trying to hose him for money off of this absolute cringe. Like, this is just ridiculous. You can't sue someone because they declined to give you something for free when they weren't even offering it for free to begin with. Like, you can't tell my dad no? What the fuck is that? It's so wild. It's so weird. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. You might want to try this negotiating tactic though once or twice just to see how it goes. Maybe it might be worth trying. Why not? Let it rip. It seems like a good time, a good bunch of fun. That's really about it. So yeah. I've got good news and bad news, and I've always found it's better to get the bad news first. Just go raw and no rubber and hit you with the cold water right away. Force feed you the vegetables so that way the dessert tastes even better. The bad news, I'm about to show you an insufferable asshole, perhaps one of the most miserable people to listen to on the planet. The good news, he's about to be arrested. Let me introduce you to Johnny. Johnny is the epitome of turbo virgin. I know this word gets tossed around a lot, but he is a self-proclaimed incel and one of YouTube's most prolific stalkers/women harassers. This goofy goober looks like if Raymundo from Rocket Power and Tommy Wiseau did a fusion dance and created the world's most socially inept asshole. Now, Johnny's whole shtick was he would wait outside of bars, clubs, and even parking garages, literally just fucking live in parking garages, until he saw the slightest hint of a human female nearby. And then he would get his phone out and start recording himself, following them, insulting them, and demanding they fuck him. And he'd follow them for what felt like miles. These videos would go on for so long, and always it would end up the same. Them threatening to get the authorities involved because they were literally scared for their lives around this guy, because he was completely unhinged. And he continued this shit for about a year. I've known about his pitiful existence for quite some time, but just never really wanted to bring any attention to it for obvious reasons. But now, he pushed the envelope a bit too far and flew a bit too close to the sun, and his tiny little micro dick burned up. He actually assaulted a woman who defended herself from him. He pepper sprayed her. And it was after he instigated the entire conflict, and now that video has surfaced and the authorities have gotten involved and they're looking to arrest him and potentially charge him with assault with a deadly weapon, as well as a hate crime and the discharge of tear gas. The article also alleges that he was recently arrested after getting kicked out of a club with his friend, and while getting escorted out basically claimed white power and some other shit like that, which sounds par for the course for a fucking homunculus like this guy. Imagine evolving for millions upon millions of years and ending up like Johnny. What a bad fucking deal. Just an actual shit stain on the planet. But anyway, I'd like to show you the video that is going to lead to his arrest. What triggered it all here and started this chain reaction where finally it looks like he will no longer be terrorizing innocent people on the streets.
Can I hang out with you?
That guy just stole my car, so he's...
Where'd he go? Newport Coast? Huh? Can I hook up with you? What kind of vagina do you have? Is it an innie or an outie? Does it have beef curtains?
I'm gonna call the cops if you don't.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're annoying, dude.
Why are you calling me?
Because I want to fuck.
That's his real voice, by the way. He's not putting on some kind of show. He's not playing a character. He genuinely sounds like one of the Looney Tunes character Inhaled Helium forever. It actually just sounds like he's making fun of a stereotypical incel demanding tindies from mommy. That is just his normal state of being. He does it unironically. Man's collected all the infinity stones of cringe and ascended to a level beyond pathetic. I'll go ahead and play the rest of the clip.
My fat ass cock is ready to get hard for you.
Cops are coming right
Why would you call the cops on me, bro? I'm just speaking.
It doesn't matter.
Fuck you, you little bitch, you little void. Oh, you little. Whoa, what's wrong with you? Chill out, chill out, chill out. Hey,
Back the fuck up.
chill out,
Back the fuck up.
chill out,
Back the fuck up.
chill out. You just kicked me in the balls. You back up. You back up.
Back the fuck up.
You back up. Throw that at me, you're gonna.
It's an absolute shame that he didn't lose his footing and fall down the stairs in front of him. I've never prayed so hard for shoelaces to malfunction in my life. So yeah, the guy's obviously a coward. He carries pepper spray because he'll push people to the absolute edge, and when they finally do, like, defend themselves, he'll just pepper spray them. Now, of course, there's almost zero people in the world that like this guy and can stand to be around him. I imagine even his own parents drink themselves into a dreamless slumber every single night, just regretting the day that they conceived this failure. But I did see on Twitter a couple of people blame the woman here, saying she assaulted him first. Now, of course, Twitter is just this disgusting cum dumpster of the most brain-rotted clowns imaginable, but I did want to at least talk about it. There's such a drastic difference between throwing a shoe after being verbally harassed for however many minutes before filming, because he was doing this even before he started filming. This is only a piece of the video. To be harassed that long and then just respond by throwing a shoe is completely different than getting fucking pepper sprayed. It just can't even be compared. That's like if a kid shot a spitball at you and you responded by hitting them with a sledgehammer. Pepper spray is hardcore. It's a legitimately painful experience from everyone I've ever known to be pepper sprayed. They have said it's the most painful thing they've ever experienced. Luckily, I haven't been pepper sprayed, but I know from what I've seen and the people that I know that it is something that isn't just laughed off or something trivial. So it's just not even in the same ballpark. And she did it in what I consider to be self-defense. This was like 3 a.m., the witching hour, don't summon Freddy Fazbear at 3 a.m. kind of shit. Like, this is haunted. This guy is hanging out at a parking garage in the middle of the night, being fucking creepy and weird, saying things like my hard cock is ready for you and shit like that. You don't know what he's gonna do. That is a dangerous person. So to like get him away from you and throw a shoe, I think is like an appropriate response. And especially because he already proved you can't just walk away from the confrontation, because he had just previously followed a woman all the way to her car who was panicking, making up a story about having her car stolen and visibly uncomfortable and worried for her own fucking life. So her trying to scare him away like a pigeon on the beach was really like the only thing she could do to like diffuse the situation and make him stop. And then he responded by ruining his life with the pepper spray, because now he'll be arrested for it, and I cannot fucking wait. I think that is extremely exciting news that this guy is finally going to face some serious repercussions for this shit, because it's been going on for quite some time. He has a long history of doing this shit without remorse, and this is beyond deserved. I'd like to show you just one more clip that survived when his channel got nuked. This is just another example of the kind of shit that he would do on a regular basis.
Hey, are you single? Are you single?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you think I'm hot?
Oh, I didn't say that.
You don't think I'm hot?
I can't even see you without my glasses.
Oh, really? Do you live here?
I don't even know
Do you want to hang out?
probably not right now because I'm not even.
What are you going to do later? Sleep? Can I come sleep with you? You don't want a massage?
No, I'm good.
Luckily, she eventually escapes from the 7th circle of hell there, but this was his content. This is all he would do. He would just wait to find women pretty much anywhere, really, and make them as scared and uncomfortable as possible and film it. That was his entire existence. That was his whole purpose. And now it's finally over. Can finally breathe a nice sigh of relief. You won't accidentally see this man sitting on a fucking park bench somewhere and ruining your day. So I just wanted to share the both bad and good news here. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah. In the UK right now, there's a product that's more valuable than gold that people are going absolutely wild and wacky over. It's Prime, which is the drink from KSI and Logan Paul. It's being treated like a holy elixir that's understocked and absolutely making people ravenous to get their hands on it. The Prime panic is sweeping the UK, and there will be no survivors. It's like the blood of Christ has been bottled and people can't help but just go fight for it. And it's not because of the taste that's led to this situation, it's because it's become something of a status symbol. Having it makes you cool if you're very young, and if you're very old, having it means you can charge a huge markup for it and scam those kids that are desperate for the attention that it brings online. So there's been a lot of videos of people fighting each other for it. I'll show you a couple of clips.
Oh my god!
People getting in there, throwing hands, boxing each other out like it's basketball, getting ready for a rebound, all just to get their hands on some Prime. I've had it before because in the States it's not rare, it's not hard to come by. I could walk outside right now and find like an unopened pallet of Prime. It's really just in the UK that this hysteria is sweeping the entire nation. It's going absolutely crazy there. So I've tried it, I think it's good, I have no complaints, but I certainly wouldn't be beating some ass and being that desperate to get my hands on a bottle. But you know who is extremely desperate is a place called Wakey Wines that I just recently learned about. Their entire business right now revolves around reselling Prime at a huge price increase, all the way up to £100 for a single can or bottle of Prime. Usually a bottle will be about £2, but Wakey Wines is treating it like it's the fountain of youth juice here, selling it at 100 bottles, or £100 per bottle in some cases, and they're still successfully making sales. They've actually become extremely popular for this. A lot of people are buying it from them. That's how outrageous this whole thing is. Now I want to show you a great video that breaks it all down. This comes from a channel named Fat Memer, and I learned everything there is to learn about Wakey Wines here. You hear the Wakey Wines people made their own drink. What's special about Wakey Wines? They price gouge everything they sell. How are they successful then? Oh, here's a whole thing on it. Let me see.
Mohammed and Abdul, aka the Wolves of Wakefield, have been hitting national headlines over
The Wolves of Wakefield. I don't know anything about these guys. They seem like some real goofballs. I promise you, no one is calling them the Wolves of Wakefield besides them. They absolutely gave themselves that name. No shot anyone actually gives that much thought to them aside from like, wow, what a joke.
the last few weeks for reselling Prime at extortionate prices and their viral videos. Ironically, they haven't become known for selling wine, but Prime. Now, of course, because KSI and Logan Paul
I'm assuming they
faces
sell
of
more than
Prime,
that, though.
They know that kids are willing to do anything to get their hands on this drink. For months...
But why? But like, actually, why? I still don't see why people are fighting themselves over Prime in the UK. It is abundant in the States. I can go anywhere that sells drinks and they have, like, Prime filled to the fucking brim, literally leaking out of their toilets. It's everywhere. There's not that same chaos here. Why do kids in the UK want to fight each other for Prime? Even if it's from their favorite YouTubers, I don't really get it. Because you just drink it once and then you're done. Expensive and therefore cool. I guess that's kind of become like a pretty common thing. Like if something costs a lot, it's like a status symbol to have it. But it's not like you collect Prime. What, are they putting it in like an acrylic box and stacking it on their bookshelf? I doubt it. They probably get it, drink it for the sake of a TikTok, and then they're done. €100 down the shitter. They collect the bottles to flex on TikTok? Well, you can just order empty bottles, though. The flex is they drink it. But it just seems like such a huge price for one TikTok of drinking Prime.
With fluctuating prices between £15 and £30 for the standard Prime drink, and prices now reaching an eye-watering £100 a can for the brand new Prime Energy cans. Wakey Wines have taken
I see. Okay, so the energy's an increased premium because it's newer. I'm assuming it's even more understocked. So now they're charging the moon for that shit. It's like an NFT at this point, god damn.
Which has led people to discover his dark past. In 2015, Mohammed received an 8-year jail sentence and served 4 years behind bars. At the time, it was reported that he pleaded guilty and was convicted of selling cocaine and heroin. With this...
Yeah, it just reminded me of something totally unrelated to his charges. You guys ever see this video? It just resurfaced today. About the turtle that was smuggling $53 million worth of coke. It was back in like 2017. There was a sea turtle that had $53 million worth of cocaine that was strapped to it. That was like fucking El Chapo's pet. They finally got him though. They finally got him. That bastard. He'd been importing this shit for years. 1,800 pounds worth. How long did the turtle serve for? I don't know. I didn't see anything about his trial. All I can tell you is Crash did not take it well after the flop of Finding Dory. Shit was rough. In all seriousness, I hope the turtle's alright. Yeah, I imagine they probably got the cocaine off of it and then just set it free again. Like, I don't think they actually threw it in cuffs or anything. I don't think it's currently sitting in, you know, county. Thanks, Recent Panda. Did I get the name of the turtle from Finding Nemo wrong? Isn't it Crash? It's Crash and Squirt, right? Why are you saying it's Crush? Oh my god, it is Crush. Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot.
For my money now, I've got a shop. My dad bought me a shop, and I work hard, and I don't sell drugs now. So I just thought I put it out there rather than everybody else saying Azza's doing this, Azza's doing that, and I'm a changed person. I'm reformed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I see no reason to doubt him. He served his time. I think he doesn't even need to deal drugs anymore. He's selling something far more addictive, and that's clout. So he's able to easily tap into an even bigger market now. Like cocaine, yeah, I'm sure kids are going to get cocaine somehow, but it's a lot harder than just going down to his shop and getting fucking Prime for €100. So it's I believe he probably doesn't deal drugs anymore.
Amounts and high values. It shouldn't be worth £100 for a can of Prime, or 10, 15, 20 pounds for a bottle of Prime hydration. It's absolutely ridiculous and I hate it. To the owner of Wakey Wines, I mean, what you're doing is just unfair, and it's
challenge him to a boxing match, beat his ass.
It's not ethical, it's not nice.
Although to
KSI drops the gauntlet. If you can beat me in boxing, you can actually double the price and I'll endorse it. But you lose, you shut down the shop. Make some high stakes out of it. Scalpers are dicks. Yep, no one likes scalpers, literally. I don't know how they're in business, to be honest. They must just be very lucky that some people are so starved for the clout of that TikTok flex of drinking the Prime that they'll pay the £100. But, yeah, no one likes them. Literally no one likes them. I think scalpers are probably like one of the only unanimously hated career paths in the world. Like, even a drug dealer, you can make some arguments for, like, a good drug dealer. He's peddling escapism. Well, he's doing it because he has to feed his family at home. With a scalper, no one's making those arguments. Scalpers just fucking suck across the board. I just checked, it's like 120 American dollars. Yeah, if you convert it to freedom units, it's over $100. It is outrageous. I mean, that's scalping in a nutshell, though.
fair play, Mo. In fact, if you're a kid and you're paying £100 for a bottle of Prime, then you deserve to get scammed. You've got to write the kid off. He's got no chance.
You know what? I'll make an argument in defense of Wakey Wines. He's teaching kids an important lesson about getting scammed early. And hopefully, it'll be something that stays with them for the rest of their life. Like, wow, what a fucking idiot I was paying £100 for this bottle of Prime. Never doing that again. It's a low-level scam. It's very expensive for a kid. Very expensive in general. So it should be one that would resonate pretty profoundly, I would think. It's not the kid's money, it's the idiot parents. That's possible, I guess. Well, it'll teach the parents an important lesson about not raising a dumb kid. I don't know.
Video emerged of Mo in a nightclub dancing the night away with women of the night. One Twitter user stated, sniffing lines, banging nines, and selling Prime. I mean,
cool slogan.
Can you blame him?
Put that on the store.
He's paid his dues to society, and anyway, these kids wouldn't know how to spend their money properly. Wakey Wines seems to be going from strength to strength, and now even have their own song.
Oh! Wait! This is the Paradox Metaverse crypto place? Where the Amio Talio tried to get like Wakey Wines endorsement behind him and not even they were able to make anything out of it? That's crazy! Wow, they actually just do go scam the scam. So they're even in metaverse scams. Holy shit. Crypto scams. Wait, that's fucking wild. That's a full circle. They're just like this giant fleshlight that scams will filter through. Cool.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to follow me on all of my socials.
This is a great breakdown of it. I didn't know shit about them.
Subscribe and comment below what you want to see next.
Huge. Good work. That's interesting. What a nice little cameo from previous season supervillains with Paradox Metaverse crypto. How's that coin doing, by the way? Let's take a peek. Oh, jeepers. How did it all go so wrong? Oh, I can't believe it. That's the day chart? Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We should look at how it's doing over the last week. Oh, no. What? How's this possible? Whoa! What was this little pump here? Amio Talio buying on bot accounts. Good work. That was a nice little pump and dump for a day. Literally a day. And then back to rugging it. Did you see kids opening Prime at Christmas? They reacted the same way as a kid getting his first Xbox. That's so cute.
You've been raped? No. You should be.
This guy who looks like the result of a botched fusion dance performed by a colonostomy bag and a sloth is Only Use Me Blade. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking Brian was just telling a really shitty, edgy joke, but it's not. Brian, Only Use Me Blade, has a history of sexually harassing women during streams, and earlier this week found himself under more controversy during an RV stream where it appears he gets into a bed with a passed out drunk woman and thrusts. This is all allegedly, nothing is 100% proven, so keep that in mind. All of that in that department is alleged. He is a downright deplorable, revolting, adipose astronaut, a downright shit stain on the internet. He is easily the world's worst streamer. He is a raging alcoholic, serial groper, just groping complete strangers, and just, he's an animal abuser as well. All of these, all documented. I'll show you what I can. Let me give you a brief history of Only Use Me Blade. Only Use Me Blade rose to popularity during the early days of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. His shtick was he was only using a knife to get his kills, and he did well in the game, but his popularity faded as the game's popularity faded, and he didn't adapt very well. He got big into alcohol, and then started streaming. The only reason he maintained even a very small audience is because people were laughing at him. They liked to see him get drunk and fall asleep, well, pass out, hurt himself, stumble around. That was the only thing that people tuned in to see. He's a degenerate loser. In fact, he was banned on Twitch because he got so drunk he started fingering his asshole for a $20 donation. The only reason people have ever tuned into Brian's stream is to watch him pass out and compete with each other to see who can wake him up with the loudest noise through the computer. That is Brian's whole identity, his legacy. And I'd feel bad for him, but it's hard to feel bad for a skid mark like this guy. Now let me show you his follow-up to when he recently groped a woman on stream and she called him out for it. This is his perspective on it.
I just have a lot of love to give. So if some random fucking ugly whore bitch gets groped, she gets groped. Accept it. You should be fucking welcome, whore. You should be fucking welcome, whore. Seriously, you should be fucking honored that I would ever grope you, you stupid bitch.
What a class act. This guy is the exact person your parents tell you never to end up like. You can genuinely smell him through the computer. Brian struggles with alcoholism, obviously, and it's so bad. He's 36 years old and looks like a fucking walking corpse already, but it's so bad that he has to wear diapers because he frequently shits and pisses himself, and he's been shown on stream putting on his adult diapers, and they're fucking massive diapers. It looks like something that you could put a whole goddamn Ford F-150 into, because this is a big boy taking big shits and big pee-pees when he's blackout drunk. Now, let me get to the animal abuse.
The drama, people suing me.
All right, let's go.
It's just with me. I'm just saying.
I didn't like it.
Animal abuse is all the rage from internet creators these days, and Only Use Me Blade hopped on that bandwagon early. You got Brooke, the girl that put her dog into the dryer. You've got all of these titans in animal abuse on the internet, and Only Use Me Blade was kind of the pioneer who really kicked it off. He's done more than just that, but that was the first clip that I could find, and I didn't really want to go through his entire catalog of absolutely deplorable, disgusting shit. So I think you can pretty well understand how he feels about animals and how he treats them when he's around them, even though he himself is the most vile animal on the internet. Now let's get to the most recent thing where this grotesque dump truck appears to have non-consensual sex with a passed out drunk woman. Now keep in mind, nothing has been 100% proven, so this is all alleged. The incident occurred on an RV trip. It's a stream that they're doing with a bunch of different people. She was on the trip with them. There's multiple different camera angles, and one of the camera angles shows Blade going into the back room where the girl was passed out drunk, and he is stripped down to his boxers and appears to be thrusting on top of the woman. Now, before this alleged incident even occurs, there's a clip right before anything happens where Brian is asking one of the other men that you see in frame here if he should go have sex with the passed out girl in the back. He mentions her by her stream name, and I don't think she wants her name associated with any of this, so I'm not going to show you the clip. But the guy's response when Brian says this is he just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Every man on this fucking RV that you see here is such a piece of shit. It's unbelievable. It's like this RV is a giant pile of dog shit, and these are just subhuman flies feasting upon it, festering in this cesspool. It's fucking gross. This is the clip where the alleged incident actually is occurring on camera. I've cropped it out so you can't see it, but just out of frame, it seems as though Brian is making a thrusting motion on the bed. He's a massive man, so you can see the covers moving back and forth, and his legs are moving quite a bit as well, trembling under the body weight that they have to support. But this alleged incident is occurring at this time in the clip. Another extremely sad thing about this whole situation is the Reddit community that's trying to defend it. It's like a propaganda machine. They released like an Illuminati video trying to debunk it scientifically, but it's really poorly made, and you can clearly tell it's made by a 15-year-old. And as you can read, their excuse is basically the RV was bouncing, which explains why the covers were moving the way they were, but it doesn't explain why they were moving at the same speed, the same interval during this alleged incident that occurs, and his legs were shaking due to alcohol shakes. And then throws in like this conspiracy bullet point list on why people would be making it up, and it's obviously never even occurred to this psychopath middle school lunch table loner social outcast 15-year-old that the reason people are upset is because they feel as though they may have just witnessed a crime and a really horrible thing, because in this alleged incident the footage looks very bad and disturbing. And for some reason, as these fucking paranoid gang-stalking conspiracy points like, oh, they're coming after our entertainment, the normies are flooding in, white knights. It's unbelievable, and it's just fucking pathetic.
It's not rape if they don't have an orgasm. Fuck it.
And okay, I don't think if this shit is like, I don't think I should just be on stream doing this shit.
That was a clip of the girl reacting to a video that detailed the entire situation, and then she goes offline. I'm going to give you a quick little montage of Brian groping women on stream. If you just search Only Use Me Blade, the first 20 or so results are just clips of him groping women that aren't interested in him. His name, Only Use Me Blade, is basically just synonymous with vomit and grope.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck? You can't throw me! You broke me on my head. I don't know where am I?
You have some big ass titties, baby. No, bring them on back. Bring them on back.
Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning, all of this is after he's purged YouTube of the clips of him groping and sexually harassing and assaulting women. Yeah, he also abuses copyright takedown shit. He is the max level of pathetic loser on this fucking planet. It's unbelievable. So, Blade, you're probably watching, if you can even keep your eyes open for this long without puking on yourself and falling over. You're a fucking menace. You fucking suck. You're a horrible person. I don't know who's watching you. Well, that's a lie. I do know who's watching you. It's the people just there to make fun of you in the stream chats, because that's kind of all you're there for, just like a punching bag for those people to make fun of you. I don't know if you're proud of that or not, but you do get donations for it that are insulting you to your face, so I guess that's cool for you too, I guess. But anyway, ordinarily I'd feel bad for someone like Brian because he does struggle with a genuine condition, alcoholism, but he uses it like a superpower to be the worst possible person on the planet and make money off. Easily the worst streamer out there. That's it. So yeah. Over the years, I've made fun of a lot of YouTube pranksters, but the truth is, they're risking a lot to make cringe. They really are putting their life on the line for the worst content on the site. There's already been like 5 or 6 major cases where YouTube pranksters have gotten themselves shot and killed. So it's like they're soldiers, but the only thing they fight for is clout. So I'm being genuine when I say that the bravery and commitment to put a smile on the face of absolutely nobody is admirable. And let me tell you, one thing I've learned about the YouTube prankster douchebags is no price is too high for them in the pursuit of attention, because they use mommy and daddy's credit card to buy everything for them for their content, all the gear they need. But one thing that's always sanded my ass is the fact that the pranksters themselves always seem extremely sensitive. So when they're doing their dog shit pranks and someone responds aggressively to it, they immediately fall back onto, it's just a prank, bro. You know, we're just goofing. Why are you getting all mad? You're overreacting, that kind of shit. They literally become a Pokemon and the only thing they can say is, it's just a prank, bro. And then they start to, like, try and shame the person for being upset, even though some of the pranks are just downright crimes, like the fake stabbing prank where they go up to someone with a knife and pretend they're about to kill them, literally murder them, and then when the person gets like panicked or fights back, they're like, what are you doing? We're just kidding, it's just a joke, what are you, oh my, this is, you fucking goofball, we were just making a good TikTok video. It's just so embarrassing. Then watching the prankster try and play the victim here, they get offended that someone got upset at their prank. So today there's a video that's going viral from a prankster where he was doing some stupid shit on the beach. It's ultimately harmless, it's just not entertaining, like it's just a lame prank. But someone did respond negatively to it and ended up snatching the mic out of his hand and throwing it into the ocean. And the prankster got so butthurt about it that he called the police, and then the police took the guy's side who threw the mic, so then the prankster and his friend got trespassed, and he still won't stop fucking whining about it.
Sorry, I just seen you over here, and I just like thought I had to stop and just ask you if I could get your phone number. Sorry.
That's my husband.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't realize you were your husband. I thought you were like your gay best friend or something. I'm sorry.
You're good, buddy.
Yeah. You guys have a good day. I'm sorry.
That's really the gist of this Galaxy Brain prank here. It's just wearing stupid shirts like your man is a pussy, or the other one they wear is threesome, and then they just go up to random people and say dumb shit. So in this one it was just hitting on this girl in front of her boyfriend slash husband.
I just seen you over here and I thought you were beautiful, and I was just wondering if I could have your phone number.
You want to get smacked right now?
Wait, are you with her?
You want to get smacked up right now?
Bro, no.
Back the fuck up, I'm gonna smack the fuck out of you.
Why?
You gonna f around? Come here. Smack.
I didn't know, I'm sorry.
You think this is funny for TikTok or something?
Yeah. Can we just shake on it? I'm sorry.
So they just do a whole tour of the beach saying lame shit to a bunch of different people, trick-or-treating with cringe. A couple people fake a giggle and then just shoo them away like some kind of stray animal. And then a couple people respond negatively, like this guy and the previous guy, who are pretty tired of them just bothering everyone and being a general nuisance on the beach.
Camera and get the fuck out.
It was just a joke, sir.
You're bothering people.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
You want us to call the cops?
For what?
You're harassing people.
Was it because of my shirt?
No, dude, get out of here.
Hey, you can't.
His initial reaction here is a very sad self-defense coping mechanism. I know that's some armchair psychologist analysis of this situation, but god damn it, it's super clear. He is upset that his mic just got thrown in the ocean. That shit is expensive. And his first response is to try and sarcastically throw a temper tantrum so that way the guy knows it's not bothering him. That's why he's super over the top with that, like, sophomore year of high school drama club thespian kind of shit, you know, screaming. Which is even more embarrassing because, again, it's in public. There's a lot of people looking at him now. It's just so shameless. But Anyway, a lot of brain rot takes came from this where people are saying, well, actually, the prankster's in the right. What just happened there was assault and battery. You can't just snatch something out of someone's hands and throw it away. That guy should have been arrested. Getting so upset over words that you'll assault somebody, it's sickening. And I've just got to tell you, that is some pussy shit. I'm going to hit you with the cold water. That is some bubble-blowing double baby Weenie Hut Jr. nonsense there. He was provoking people on the beach. The whole point of the content is to do these lame-ass incendiary pranks to try and get a rise out of strangers for the sake of your content to capitalize off the ad revenue. That's the entire gross little machine of clout that they try and peddle. So this guy just swooping in and throwing the mic in the ocean I think is a totally fine response. Again, they started this shit and he just finished it. Now they're out $600. He didn't push anything too far. He didn't start throwing hands or like trying to poke their eyeballs out Captain Insano style. He just threw their mic in the ocean. You started some shit and this man came through and he cleaned it all up. Fed them their vegetables. And I understand the prankster's doing his best to mask his hurt feelings, but he quickly drops that facade.
I'm bleeding. This guy assaulted me. He took my mic, $600. Hey, you know, okay.
You're the one that's wearing the You're the Get the away from me right now.
We're either going to press charges or he has to pay me $600.
Damn, his whole tone and attitude really changed here. I think this is footage that you probably should have scrubbed from the video. This shouldn't have made the final cut because you're looking like a real whiny bitch right now with this part. You're threatening to press charges on this guy, the guy that you started bothering, and then you're asking for $600 to pay for the mic that he just ruined. You are the prankster. You have to accept some level of responsibility, right? The whole point of your gag is to make people upset at you. So you really can't be acting this way when something like this inevitably does happen. So I think that's some real goober shit. But I also want to point out something very important. This man's hairline. Now, he himself points this out in the beginning of the beach section, so he tries to wear his insecurity on his sleeve, but I'd like to really call attention to it real quick.
Thing that I hate about the beach, I don't have the best hairline, so me and the beach don't always get along, but ignore that, okay, guys?
How am I supposed to ignore this when I can hear the agonizing cries from your permed hair screaming out in pain from all the heavy lifting it's doing trying to hide your 40-year-old receding hairline? Especially with this facial hair combo going on here. You've got that chin strap beard, that fucking toilet seat fuzz going around. It does not work well when the wind blows in. That's gotta be your worst enemy here. I can now fully understand why you're not a huge fan of the beach, but honestly, anywhere the wind blows is pretty much going to be a battle between your hair and nature trying its best to show the public where your hairline actually starts. So I don't know if he treats the outside like a vampire refusing to go out in the sunlight because there might be a gust of wind that blows by, but goddamn. Now I know many of you might think I'm being awfully harsh here, but I truly think it's an invaluable service to insult people that do this kind of content because it's just lame and unacceptable. I hate that public nuisance content is becoming so trendy on TikTok in particular that a lot of these clout-obsessed losers feel that the best way to get fame and money online is by being as disruptive and as douchey as possible to just complete random strangers just trying to go about their day and enjoy their life. I hate that kind of content, so I really do think that insulting it is legitimately doing a good deed. Especially because it's so saturated when it comes to shit pranks that it's become a bit of an arms race where a lot of people just keep amplifying the danger of the prank, which is why people are getting shot doing them. In order to stand out, they have to be getting more and more extreme, which is leading to more and more dangerous pranks. So I really think this shit deserves to be insulted.
I was just out here filming a video, and a man assaulted me, and he ripped the microphone off my camera and threw it into the ocean.
You're more or less provoking somebody to make a move, and then you can report it, correct?
Actual fucking Giga Chad beach officer here. Fucking Paul Blart rolls up, and he's just like immediately calling him out on his shit. He's like, I know what this is. You're provoking people to get a rise so you can record it for your TikTok, right? And he's just like immediately hits the nail on the head, so much so that the prankster even puts in the, it was at this moment he knew he fucked up thing because the guy is privy to this kind of content. I imagine this isn't his first rodeo with douchebags like this, so he's just immediately going in on him.
I think I need repercussions for my damaged property. I mean, the wrong word.
Repercussions is what actually happened.
Hey, I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I was a great grammar. Okay, so it was just supposed to be a joke, and it got taken too far. I guess he got offended.
You guess he got offended?
God, that's so pathetic. Yeah, I guess he just got offended. Which is why I called the cops, like a little hall monitor. Yeah, you lost a $600 mic and it's your own fault, so take it on a chin like a man and move on. And this isn't your first rodeo with the law enforcement either. I've looked at a lot of the content. This is actually all him and his friends do. They go to places, they get trespassed, or they just straight up get arrested. In one of the videos, they got wrestled down by mall security and like roughed up. So his whole thing is just being a public nuisance and having situations like this, but still has the chutzpah to pretend to be a victim and is actually the one who called the cops. That is beyond embarrassing.
What happens if he's having a bad day? It doesn't mean you go out and just assault people. You're both being trespassed from this park. Have you ever been trespassed before? Yes. Shocking. Banned from every Walmart in the world. Is everyone getting trespassed or just us? Just the two.
You can hear the pride in his voice when he mentions they've been banned from every Walmart. They have been banned from multiple places, and they're so proud of that. I think that's so sad, the state of the world, where that's something to be happy about, that you're banned from a lot of places because you're such an insufferable little asshole who's driven by internet brownie points, that you're just going to be a disruptive piece of shit to complete random strangers. What the fuck is there to be happy about with that? The whole purpose is just sad. You exist just to make people around you a little less happy, just total strangers going about their day. You want to make their day just a little worse because you post it online because you're a little internet clown. That's just pathetic. Now, I think he's young. He looks young, but it's really hard to know for sure with a hairline like that. But hopefully there'll be a moment of self-awareness, like some self-reflection, and he comes to this come to Jesus moment where he's like, damn, all of this shit was so cringe. Like, that'd be the happy ending. That'd be the good ending there. It completely changes, like, damn, this was fucking stupid. What a waste. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. There's a long list of people I'll never have respect for. Cheaters, drunk drivers, animal abusers, murderers. Yeah, that's right. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not gonna censor myself. I think you gotta be a real jerk to kill someone. Standing wipers is another one. I don't understand what kind of psychopath would stand up after doing their business to wipe when the toilet seat already spreads your cheeks, giving you the optimal angle of entrance to your butthole. Doesn't make any sense. You're adding extra steps and more of a nuisance. And another thing that I'll never have respect for are pathetic scumbags that abuse the YouTube strike system because their feelings got hurt. And that has been happening quite a bit lately on the platform. It's been an incredible week for little slimy weasels that like to use the YouTube strike system because someone made a video they weren't overly happy about. So I wanted to march on in here and administer some wedgies and shoot spitballs at these fucking dweebs that are doing this disgusting weenie behavior where they're abusing this YouTube system to try and get rid of videos that said not nice things about their content. The first one I want to cover is from this YouTube channel, Penguinz0. They received a copyright strike from another YouTuber named The Manny Show. I'll go ahead and play a clip from this video that explains it.
That one of my videos had a copyright takedown, which is very new to my channel. The video in question that was taken down is why everyone hates The Manny Show. And the YouTube automated email says, "Hi Penguinz, we received a copyright removal request."
I was unfamiliar with The Manny Show before this situation, and I really missed 30 minutes ago when I was still in ignorant bliss about who this was, because this shit is insufferable. It's a massive YouTube channel that just aims to fill the shorts algorithm with brain rot content to try and farm subs off of it. It sucks. It super sucks. Copyright strikes are a huge deal. It's more than just the video getting taken down. It affects the entire channel. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the strike system on this platform. It's the nuclear option. When someone does that, it's a declaration of war, and that's when things get extremely serious. And it's also an unforgivable sin on the internet. If you ever have that little devil on your shoulder that convinces you to file a copyright strike, just know that blemish is gonna haunt you for the rest of your fucking life on the cyberspace. People don't forget that. So if you're filing a strike on a channel, you better hope that that channel is publicly beheading puppies or something, because otherwise, everyone's going to hate you for it forever. Strikes, in an ideal world, would be reserved for repeat offender channels that are publishing like borderline criminal content. Anything aside from that, and you could just file a normal copyright claim and block. You don't have to choose to strike the channel. You can just take down the video you think is in violation of your copyright or whatever, and have that be that. But when you go the extra step here and put the cherry on top of the shit cake with a strike, then it becomes a huge deal. But in a situation like this, the Manny Show would still very much be in the wrong, even if they took the lesser of two evils and just removed the video without the strike. Because they have no grounds for removing the video whatsoever. They have no legs to stand on. It's a completely fraudulent claim that blatantly abuses YouTube's system. The channel that was struck, Penguinz0, is a commentary channel that will play a clip from a piece of content, let it play for like 10 or 15 seconds or so, and then talk about it, giving their commentary on whatever they're going over, whatever the subject is. Looking at the removal request, we can see that 13 seconds of the video was enough to lead the Manny Show to strike the entire fucking channel here. That's some fucking filthy fish paste right there. 13-second clip was enough to have the Manny Show bring the hammer down with the iron fist on the channel, because Penguinz0 was saying some less than stellar things about the Manny Show, I guess. But you can't strike someone because your feelings were hurt over what he was saying about your content. That's just not how it works. He hasn't violated any rules at all. You are totally fine to play bits and pieces from other content and then talk about it, transform it with your commentary, your jokes, your input, whatever it is. It's not like Penguinz0 took the entire video from the Manny Show and re-uploaded it without adding anything to it, without changing it whatsoever. There was no rules that were broken here, at least not from what I can tell. I also will just never understand this strategy of doing something like this, because as the Manny Show or part of the Manny Show team, you would have to know that Penguinz0 or any commentary channel ever would see this and immediately talk about it, because this is just a big no-no. This is like an unwritten rule on YouTube that you don't strike another YouTuber just because they hurt your feelings. That will always backfire on you in the biggest possible way, and it puts all of the eyes on you as the bad guy, as the villain. You won't get support for that. No matter what Penguinz0 was saying about you, and I can't go watch the video since it's been taken down, but I imagine he was calling him cringe or something. Now you have made things significantly worse for yourself. The video title that got taken down was Why Everyone Hates the Manny Show, and I don't know what the reason behind it was, but I can tell you what it will be now. The reason why everyone hates the Manny Show is because they're very sensitive and file false strikes on other YouTubers' channels. I can now answer that question for why people hate the Manny Show. And that's because of your actions. Not even because of your content, it's because what you've done when someone criticized you. It's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Speaking of dumb and stupid, we have the actual fucking mascot for those things, Tech Lead here. He is apparently still filing false DMCA claims. I just made a video talking about him. I called it Complete Loser. I went over his last fraudulent strike that he issued on Internet Anarchist. Mudahar posted this on June 29th, so only a couple days ago. This appears to be a screenshot of Tech Lead filing a DMCA takedown request. This is a classic SpongeBob, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man moment. This one is particularly enjoyable though, because this means that YouTube automatically declined Tech Lead's attempt to falsely strike another channel. This doesn't happen super often with YouTube, but they do have measures in place to prevent offenders like Tech Lead from abusing these systems once they're made aware of it. So what happens, and I've seen it a couple of times, what happens is you take one of these fucking worms like Tech Lead, they file a takedown removal request. YouTube will then start processing it and realize that this is just a bunch of hooey. So YouTube will actually send you an email making you aware that someone tried to target a particular video for a particular reason. In Mudahar's case, that video from a Tech Lead segment. And they tell you that they are not going to take any action because they believe it's fair use, but they want to put it on your radar in case you want to do something with that information. The reason they state is in case you want to delete it just to be safe, to avoid any kind of like legal ramifications if they decide to go above the YouTube strike system. So they just give you that information so that way you can plan your next steps accordingly, whether it's deleting the video or contacting the party directly. So that's why Mudahar has that copy there of the Tech Lead DMCA. It's because YouTube thought it was such a load of barnacles that they didn't even bother fucking with it. They just threw it into the trash pile right away, but sent a copy to Mudahar to basically use as toilet paper if he wants. That is so poetic for Tech Lead. YouTube won't even take him seriously anymore. I'm surprised they haven't taken legal action against him since he has openly on record admitted to abusing their system, which is a legal problem. That is actually him admitting to some very bad activity that YouTube could absolutely slap him for. and I think they probably will. This is leading me to believe that YouTube is now very much aware of TechLead and what he's doing, and I really think YouTube might take actual action against him for this garbage. Now maybe I'm huffing copium like crack here, but it really to me does seem like YouTube might do something. They're declining his DMCAs without even bothering to process them anymore because they must be aware that this is just bogus. Like it's fake, fraudulent. So maybe they'll do something against TechLead. I think they absolutely should. And this has nothing to do with his false DMCA takedown strike crusade that he's going on, but I have to talk about this because it was so pathetic. A few nights ago, actually by this point it's probably like 5 or 6 nights ago, maybe even like a week ago, I'm losing track of time, everything's blending together. But I was streaming Elden Ring, I was playing the DLC, and I saw TechLead poke his curious little head up in my chat. And he would cheer on whatever boss I was fighting at the time, like, go get him, demon guy, beat his ass, that kind of thing. You called me a complete loser? Well, look at you, you're dying to this Elden Ring boss, loser. And nobody in the chat even noticed he was there. He's such an insignificant fly that even his attempts to try and stir up shit in the chat didn't work. It just flew under the radar because no one gives a fuck about him. But I saw him because I'm always paying attention to the chat. It's the most fun about streaming is interacting with the community. So I saw TechLead in there, but I didn't call any attention to him. I just sat there and just looked at what he was saying. And I know he started fuming because I'm actually good at Elden Ring. So he came in during the Mother Finger boss fight, and it only took me like 5 tries or something on that boss. And he came in there at like the third or so try. So he only got to see me take 1, maybe 2 deaths until I beat the boss. And then he just had to sit there and say some other nonsense outside of that because I wasn't struggling on the bosses. And I just found that to be so embarrassing that this grown-ass man would take like 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was, out of his evening. And it was late too. It was like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., something like that. To hopefully watch me struggle on Elden Ring bosses and then not even get the pleasure of seeing that. Now, if he came in later and saw me on the final boss, he would have had quite a spectacle, because that boss is fucking brutal. That took me like almost 3 hours to beat. But he came on the bosses that I was able to just fucking slap around and put the smackdown on. And he just had to sit there and just say nonsense, and no one responded to it. And I just see it and kind of like smile internally about it. I just had to point that out. I found that to be like so embarrassing. I don't know how he went to sleep that night with that level of shame. Going into my chat to try and start shit only to have no response from anybody. Just straight up crickets. So I had to mention that since we were already talking about this loser anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these 2 cases here because within just a week, we've already seen 2 YouTubers, again, falsely strike or attempt to strike other channels for nonsense reasons. And I think that shit sucks. That's about it. See ya.